Patrick Findaro here, co-founder at Vetted Biz. If you're anything like me, you've gone into restaurants, into franchise businesses, and you thought, wow, this business is popular. I wonder how much the franchise owner is making from this business. Or perhaps you're actively investigating different franchise opportunities for you to buy and operate, and you really need to know how much money franchise owners are making, what the franchise owner salary is in the first year, 2 years, 3 years. In today's video, I'm going to go through 6 ways that you can find out the franchise owner's salary as well as income for thousands of franchise brands. Now, number 1, every franchise that's recruiting franchise candidates into their systems is required by the Federal Trade Commission to have a franchise disclosure document. 58% of franchises will disclose their sales, and a big portion of those will even disclose the earnings of their franchisees on an aggregate basis or on an individual unit basis. So that means an ice cream franchise that has a location in Irvine, California might show the sales and how much that owner is making in the business as they are doing with their locations in Florida, or they might just show the average numbers or the median numbers. And it could be for all locations operating over 12 months or operating over 24 months. You really have to see in the FDD in the item 19 how the franchisor is breaking it down. So I would say that's number 1 step to see if the franchisor is disclosing financials in their item 19 of the franchise disclosure document, the FDD. Number 2 is reach out directly to current as well as former franchisees. Understand from them how much money they're making or were they making with that franchise opportunity. And you can contact them directly through the information provided in the FDD, or oftentimes the email, phone numbers listed for that franchise executive to see how much money that they're making in their franchise business. We make it a little easier at vettedbiz.com, so you could actually just go through on the franchise profile and see all the franchises at least disclosed in the most recent franchise disclosure document. So we do make it a little easier to reach out. We're contemplating even offering a service to facilitate those calls with franchisees, as it can be a bit tough getting them on the phone. And you might even want to entice them, offer like a Amazon gift card of $50, $100, $200 if you've reached out to numerous franchisees and you're not really getting any traction. You might need to entice them to get on the phone with you, as I'm sure many of them are super busy and you're not the top priority. But a nice $100, $200 Amazon gift card could do the trick. Number 3 source is Reddit. Reddit's an online community where you have forums of all different types of communities, and you have a lot of investors, franchisees that are on Reddits, and you can just search on Reddit for that franchise brand that you're actively investigating, or you're just curious about how much the franchise owner salary is, and just start asking or see if someone else has already asked. But it's pretty collaborative Reddit, and that's definitely a resource that you should tap into to see how much franchise owners are making in a franchise that you're interested in. Also, another one, especially for bigger brands where there could be a lot of data points, is Glassdoor.com. So most people in the franchise ecosystem are using Glassdoor.com more for benchmarking employee salaries, but there are quite a few brands that have a decent amount of data points on how much the franchise owner salary and benefits are for, say UPS Store, or College Pro Painters has 10 franchise owners that have self-reported their earnings. So that's a pretty good benchmark to see how much someone is making at College Pro Painters. Domino's Pizza just has 2, so it's probably better leveraging information from the next data provider I'm going to mention. So number 5, you can go on Tegus.com, and they're a resource mostly for the institutional investment community. So think hedge funds, private equity funds that are buying whole companies or investing a lot in publicly traded stock. And franchisors are just a very small part of the type of work that Tegus is doing, but they have great coverage for some of the big brands like McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Planet Fitness, an emerging publicly traded franchise, F45 Training. So they have interviews with franchisees as well as former executives of those brands. And a lot of times they go into the details of how much the owner is making. And they talk to also multi-unit operators. So it's not just someone that has one location, but I've seen a lot of their interviews are with multi-unit operators of Domino's or Pizza Hut that have 4, 5, 6 locations, and they're going into the numbers, and they're showing some great information. Another resource, I was on a podcast a while back, Franchise Secrets, that's hosted by Eric Von Horn, who he's had multiple franchise brands, multiple locations of franchise brands. He runs a franchise mastermind group, and he also has one of the largest franchise groups on Facebook. And you can check it out, franchisesecretsgroup.com, and that will redirect you to the Facebook page. There's over 2,500 members, and people are pretty helpful in terms of, I follow it time to time, and people are asking, I'm thinking about this fitness brand. Does anyone currently own it? Or I might want to open up a Kumon franchise. Could you tell me a bit more about what reasonable profits are for the first 2 years? And some of the questions will have a thread of 15 comments, and people are sometimes citing right away in the Facebook group, how much they're making. And more often than not, it's like, hey, send me a PM, send me a personal message, and I'll share with you more information on that franchise opportunity, how much that franchisee is making. So those are 6 resources that you can leverage when you're curious or you really need to know how much a franchise owner is making and what the salary and benefits add up to for all different types of franchise brands in the United States. I'm curious. I've gone through 6 resources. If there's one that I missed on this list, shoot me an email at patrick@vettedbiz.com. I would love to investigate it for the listeners.